New Jersey. Been down here about 17 years. Time goes by fast. And my authorities for electrical is the National Electrical Code, Building Department, and Power Company. That's kind of all I had to deal with for a long time. Well, now Citizens Insurance, I think I'm in your world. They're just almost more important than the rest, because if they're not happy, they're not buying the house, and if someone's not buying the house, a lot of people are upset, as you guys may know. Citizens Insurance Rules of Practice. Have you guys seen this, read this? Is this all common knowledge for you?
I've seen some of them. They changed it.
If it stays still long enough, you might be able to get what they're saying or remember it before they change it again on us. Uninsurable. They have a little section where they say what is uninsurable under K, under heating, electrical, and plumbing. Citizens Insurance says properties with any potentially hazardous electrical conditions, knob and tube, aluminum, branch circuit wiring, they won't insure it, right? The exception, acceptable remediation. So what can we do? We can rewire it. If you find the aluminum on branch circuits, the only options are rewire it all, which is what they wanted to do at first, and then a lot of people were unhappy because it takes a little bit of money to rewire a house. And they came up with some other exceptions, which is the copalum and the alumicon. Rewire, we're going to rewire every wire from the light switches, the receptacles, every device in that house, every branch wire that's aluminum, we're going to replace it with copper wire, probably new Romex with, in residential homes. Repairing aluminum wiring, the copalum, if you're not familiar with it, this is what it looks like. Typically, we're dealing with sets of 3 because we'll have a wire into the receptacle, a wire out to the next receptacle, and once we add a pigtail on, then we have the 3 wires there being junctioned. The copalum method requires a special tool, which I can't buy. I can lease it forever for a little bit of money, and I'm not real impressed with that. I didn't like that alternative, so I personally use the alumicon method. The one benefit to the copalum is that it is a smaller connection, and because you can do each one of them separately, if you have a small electrical box, it is a little bit nicer. I haven't had a problem with the alumicons. If I do, I can go to this method. I'm aware of it and can use it. The alumicon looks like this. Basically, the three wires will just go in here. They are supposed to be torqued down properly. Has anyone seen wiring over torqued?
Squish.
Yeah, guys can do it. You know, they get in there. Electricians sometimes use their power tools and they set it on a high setting, and you come back and you can practically wiggle the wire and it'll just break on you, or just be almost broken altogether. And if you pull the wire out, you'll just see a huge, you know, to the point where it's about to break through and stop conducting. At the breaker panel, one of the things that just want to back up with the alumicon, there was some confusion when I first started doing the alumicon, whether do you need to do the hot and neutral, do you need to do the ground, do you do all 3? All right, that's what we were told needed to be done, and that's what we do. Is anything needed at the breaker panel? Does anybody know?
Oxidation.
Aluminum wiring going into the breakers. Is the electrician required to do anything there?
Mm-hmm.
He's not. Basically, as far as the copalum or alumicon, he's not. There's no pigtailing required at the breakers.
No.
What's required is that the electrician inspects all of the wiring to make sure that there's no corrosion, oxidation, connections are tight. There again, you know, the way that we check connections is we check it by hand and make sure that they're tight. Aluminum wiring has any type of wiring that's conducting has an unseen, if you think about an unseen vibration, and over time aluminum wiring loosens. Once it starts to loosen and it starts to have problems conducting, it gets hot, you have high resistance, the problems increase. All right, that's when you have the potential hazards for fire, because as the resistance increases, there's more heat build up. Question in the back?
Do you do anything, or what happens when you go in and the aluminum wire is the wrong gauge?
Just needs to be replaced. In what respect? Like a 14 gauge on a 20 amp circuit? Or
So you won't do this then, right?
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
If it's the wrong gauge, once I touch anything